Hey guys, Molly here. I am talking to you today on my 30th day of the 75 Hard Phase 1 challenge. Phase 1 is a 30-day challenge. It follows the 75 Hard challenge that John and I have already posted a podcast about. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, go listen to our 75 Hard podcast. We talked about what the challenge was, why we did it, good things, bad things, all the things about it. Today I'm finishing up phase 1, which is the next step on the 75 or Live Hard challenge by Andy Frisella. I am speaking to you guys alone because my partner dropped out on me. John stopped doing the challenge with me on day 14. He had some good reasons. He felt that he just wasn't enjoying it anymore. He felt that, honestly, I think he just felt it was torture more than helping him. But I'm stubborn, and I said I would do this, so I have stuck it out. I just finished my second workout, and now I am making a podcast about it. Tomorrow's Monday, so I honestly have no plans on going crazy or anything, but I am going to talk to you guys about my experience with it. So, phase 1 of 75 Hard includes all of the tasks that go along with the original 75 Hard. So, a gallon of water a day, read 10 pages of a book, a nonfiction book, pick a diet and stick to it with no cheat days and no alcohol. 2 45-minute workouts per day. One of them has to be outside, and you have to take a progress photo every day. So I did all of those. And then for phase 1, I also had to add 3 more things. Those 3 things are 3 power tasks, which I'll go into what all of these mean. 10 minutes of self-visualization, and a 5-minute cold shower, my favorite. No, I'm just kidding. It was absolutely horrible. It was definitely my least favorite. So the 5 minutes of the cold shower, he makes it a point to say that it has to be very cold, uncomfortably cold, to the point where you want to get out of the shower as soon as possible. Leading up to the challenge, this was like my dread and doom. I knew I wasn't going to do well with this one. So I kind of practiced. I tried to take a couple cold showers before I actually started the 30-day challenge. And I tried a couple ways. So the first way I tried, which I wouldn't recommend, is I just put the shower on cold and I jumped in. And I don't even know if I lasted 30 seconds in there. Like, I couldn't control my breathing at all. My body just flipped over into survival mode, and I couldn't control my breathing. I was hyperventilating in the shower, so I had to start over and figure out another way to do it. So a couple other ways I did it, I took my regular shower, and then Andy Frisella actually said he does this way. He takes a regular shower, and then at the end of his shower, he just turns the water to cold and sits in it for 5 minutes. I didn't like that because I felt like 5 minutes were an eternity when I did it that way. So normally what I did was I got in and, got used to the water and then cranked it down to cold and started the timer on my watch. And I washed my face and soaped up and everything while the 5 minutes was going. I felt like I kind of cut my mind off of it, wasted some time. I also did a lot of research as to why a cold shower is even a thing and why it would help you, because I just felt like it was torture. I didn't really understand why I was doing it. So I was trying to figure out the why, right? There's a lot of physical reasons why. It helps inflammation, helps with soreness, which it does. I wasn't nearly as sore doing the showers. So, you know, all the reasons cryotherapy is really popular, and, you know, athletes take ice baths and stuff like that. All of those physical reasons are good reasons for cold showers. But I also came across a lot of like mental reasons. I was listening to this neuroscientist, and I can't recall his name right now. I should have written it down. He was saying how a cold shower puts, especially when you do it every day or on a regular basis, it puts your body in, or your mind in, stress, in a constant, you know, regular state of stress. And it raises your stress bar. So then when you do experience stressful situations or stressful scenarios, your body's first reaction is to breathe through it and calm down and control your breathing and all the things you do during a cold shower. It kind of trains your brain on how to respond and how to handle stressful situations, which I thought was interesting, and it definitely explained to me why these are important. But I mean, just speaking personally, I'm probably not going to continue the cold shower moving forward because it's just torturous for me. And I'm recording this in January, so it is freezing cold and currently raining in Atlanta, and the cold shower just makes that 10 times worse for me. But I do understand why it's important, and I did do it. I took my last one today. Okay, so 10 minutes of self-visualization. This was also a weird one for me. I learned something new about myself. I am not capable of seeing pictures. Like when I close my eyes, I can't see pictures in my brain. I close my eyes and I just see black. John, on the other hand, can close his eyes and depict a whole scene or a whole story or, you know, a whole picture in his head, and he can see details. He can see colors. He can get really, really detailed in his visualization. For me, I don't see anything. Like, we started easy. I tried to close my eyes and see a red triangle, and I can't see anything. I definitely can't see any color, and I got a few like flashing triangles, but nothing substantial. So my 10 minutes of self-visualization, what self-visualization is, you're supposed to visualize yourself how you want to be, or a situation you want to be in, like an ideal circumstance for yourself. Andy Frisella says that when he was starting his businesses and stuff, he would visualize himself getting on a private jet, getting out of I think he said a Ferrari, getting out of Ferrari, and stepping onto a private jet. He said he would get so detailed as to like what color his shirt was and what shoes he was wearing, and he would just see himself doing this. And it is supposed to put yourself in a mental state where you're constantly working toward that visualization. So it makes you intentional in the things you do day to day because you have that end goal in mind. And then opportunities come up, and not only do the opportunities come up, but you recognize them and you see them as opportunities because you're constantly training your brain on this end goal. For me, my self-visualization was more of just a narrative. Like I would tell myself what I was doing or how I saw myself because I can't see myself in my head. So that was kind of weird for me. I did like it. It actually it kind of forced me to figure out, like, where do I want to see myself in 10 years? What do I want to be doing? What is, like, the ideal situation I see me and my family in? And it kind of forced me to manifest that. So I actually really liked this practice, and I probably will continue it on a regular basis. But like I said, my visualization is more of a self-narrative, like a meditating self-narrative for 10 minutes is kind of how I would how I would explain what mine was. Okay, and then the 3 power tasks. So Andy Frisella does 5 power tasks every day of his life. He writes down 5 things that move him toward his goal. So he required 3 in this 30-day challenge. So 3 tasks that you have to complete before you go to bed, and they have to move you toward your goal, whatever that goal may be. So they can't be habits. They can't be something that you already do. And it can't be something that was already in the challenge. Like, one of my tasks couldn't be workout today because I already had to do that as part of my challenge. So some examples of my tasks. I'm really bad at hitting the snooze button, like literally 6 times every morning. I have to set an alarm for an hour before I actually wake up. And actually, I was reading, the book I read this month was Extreme Ownership. And in the last chapter of that book, he talks about discipline and how discipline starts with your very first decision when you wake up in the morning, and that's to wake up and get out of bed or hit the snooze button. That's the first decision you make right off the bat in the morning. And I fail at that every single morning. So my first power task has been wake up on my first alarm. Don't hit snooze. So if I set my alarm for 5:30, 6 o'clock, 6:30, I wake up when my alarm goes off. As that's my first decision every day. And I'm holding myself accountable to that. And then once that becomes a habit and I do it, every morning regardless, I will take that off my task list and I will, do another. John and I are also working on getting our real estate license, which is taking forever. But one of my power tasks was to do, on most days, not every day, but most days was to do 30 minutes of real estate, to study for 30 minutes. So that was one of my tasks. One of my tasks today was to record this podcast. So it's something I have to do before I go to bed. It's just anything that moves you towards your goals, that makes you productive. And once you write it down on that sheet of paper, you have to do it. And then you check them off as you go every day. And at the end of the day, you have all your check marks and you feel accomplished and you go to bed happy. So yeah, those are the 3 additional things, in addition to the 75 hard tasks that I had to do for these 30 days. It wasn't too bad, honestly. I did play with my diet a little bit this time. I still counted my macros, but one of the trainers at Burn Boot Camp, shout out, I love them, kind of reworked my macros and drastically lowered my calorie intake. I think I was taking on way too much. And so it was a challenge. That's always, a puzzle, like trying to figure out what I can eat, what I can't eat based on what I've already eaten or what I plan to eat in the evening. Like I said in the last podcast, John and I usually do a planned dinner. We, plan out like we'll have, we're having a steak salad tonight for dinner, or we're having sweet potatoes and chicken for dinner tonight. So I'll usually go ahead and just plug those in the morning because we usually know what we're going to eat in the evenings. And then I will kind of base my lunch and breakfast around that. I'll also base my breakfast on what kind of workout I'm doing that morning. If I'm lifting heavy, I kind of have to go carb heavy for breakfast, or I will pass out. My blood sugar drops really fast, so I have to eat before a workout. I know a lot of people do like fasted workouts, and that I'm not one of those people. I have to eat. So if I'm like lifting weights in the morning, I'll make sure my breakfast is, decent protein, and, I'll eat a banana or a pita bread or something to put some carbs in there. And then my lunch is kind of just based on all of that. I may like go a little over on carbs on a heavy weight day, and I don't really beat myself up about that, because if my body's craving it and if I lifted heavy, like did a leg day or something, I think my body needs that. So that's something I did. For my workouts, I'm also running still. We gave ourselves a challenge of, John and I sat down and did some Q1 challenges, so things we have to accomplish before April 1st. And one of those is running 200 miles. It didn't sound like a lot over 3 months. I was like, no problem, I can do that. But I counted up my miles yesterday, and I am not on track. So I went for a pretty long run today, trying to boost those miles up. That's going to be a lot more difficult than I expected. And then on top of our 75 hard phase 1 challenge, as if that's not challenge enough, our church for the new year is doing a fast, a church-wide fast. A lot of people did it literally, and just went on a liquid diet for 21 days. That's insane. Shout out to anyone who can do that. I've never even tried. I can't imagine that would be easy. But I know a lot of folks that we go to church with, and they were able to do that. I think with my workout regimen right now, I don't think it would be very healthy. I don't think you can really work out hard on a liquid diet. So I chose something else that would be hard, difficult, clearly not as difficult as not eating, but we chose to fast from social media and TV for 21 days, which was awesome. It was hard. Don't get me wrong, but it was awesome. Admittedly, we didn't watch any of the presidential stuff. We missed the inauguration. Haven't watched any football. The Super Bowl's coming up this weekend, so we will be able to watch that. But it was just kind of nice to disconnect from all the, not only the negativity, but everyone knows how you can get in your social media spiral and just scroll endlessly in the evenings. And it kind of forced me to be more productive. On nights John was at work, the kids went to bed, and I was just kind of like pedaling around the house like, well, what do I do now? I would normally sit down and Netflix binge a few shows, but I couldn't do that. So it forced me to work on something, or to read, or, do laundry or whatever. I was productive during those hours rather than just being a potato on the couch. So it was a really nice reset. I did download the social media apps when I got home today from church, but I have not gotten on them yet. And I am planning on going upstairs and watching a show with John before bed after I record this. So we're breaking our fast tonight on social media and TV. But I would recommend this if you're someone who's feeling down, or, we all say it, I hate social media, everyone's so negative, blah, blah, blah. Just take a little hiatus for a while. And, you can have your own reasonings. You don't have to copy ours, but take a little hiatus for a week or two and just kind of see how you feel when you've disconnected from all of that. It kind of feels good, honestly. It's a good reset for your brain, as is this whole challenge. And the reason I recommend it so much, I just think really clearly I mean, obviously, I'm not drinking or anything like that. I'm being productive in everything I do. I'm eating intentionally. I'm, scheduling my water so I make sure I finish it all by the end of the day. Everything I'm doing is intentional and working toward my goals and bettering myself. And I think it just gets my mind right. I know I talked about work being stressful while we were going through 75 hard, and I was forced to find some healthy coping mechanisms, for lack of a better term. And I've really started leaning on running for that. So it's kind of for everything now, and it's habitual at this point for me. Like whenever something exciting or stressful or my brain's going or I just can't wind down, something I would normally just like, hey, let's go have a drink, or, drown it in scrolling social media or something. I would just go for a run instead and kind of clear my head and get my thoughts together. I react to situations a lot better. I'm more calculated in what I do, and I haven't been acting as like rash or like short-tempered. I think it's healthy to, kind of reset your brain and get your mind right and kind of take a step back from everything and reflect back on how you're living in your day-to-day, and not only the physical, but I think the physical, the mental, all of it goes hand in hand. Even, spiritual too, doing our church challenges on top of all of this. I think it all goes hand in hand, and your body's all one body. And I think it's smart to train all of it and not focus on, one section or the other. So it's been beneficial. I would highly recommend it, and I'm here if any of you guys want to talk about it. We've actually had a few people reach out and say that they're going to do the 75 hard challenge. I am taking the required 30 days off, but I will not be going crazy like I did over the holidays. I still plan on I'll just put it out there so I'm holding myself accountable. I plan on doing 10 workouts a week, and giving myself one cheat day throughout the week. So whether that's drinking, whether that's cheating on my diet, whatever, I'll have one cheat day and 10 workouts a week. So I will have to double up a few days. And then I am back at it. I think it's March 1st. I don't know what 30 days from today is going to be. February something, March 1st. Somewhere in there, I will start phase 2, and that is also a 30-day challenge. So you can be on the lookout for my podcast review after that as well. And if any of you are jumping on the 75 hard challenge, hit me up and we can hold each other accountable and suffer together. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening to me ramble, you guys. Kind of weird talking to a mic by myself down here, not having any interaction with anyone, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. See ya.